Hello, in this video we're going to see about basic programs in C Sharp. Write C Sharp program to swap two numbers. This is the common question asked by most of the interviewers. The logic for swapping two number is we have to interchange the order of number. Suppose A is equal to 10, B is equal to 12, then we have to change from A is equal to 12 and B is equal to 10. This is the expected output actually. Now let's see in real-time example how to swap two numbers. Let's create a variable int a is equal to and assign value for that. Int a is equal to 10 and int b is equal to 12. Now let's print something like before swap. Let's print the value before swapping. Now let's see how we can swap these two numbers. Swapping is nothing but I'm storing the input a is equal to 10 and b is equal to 12, but I want output as a is equal to 12 and b is equal to 10. So how we can do that? So why can't we transfer a is equal to b, b is equal to a? Now let's try that. A is equal to b, b is equal to a. So what will happen when we try to do like this? When we try to do like this, what will happen? A is equal to b, which means the 12 will be transferred to this a as we expected. But when we try to transfer b is equal to a, this 10 won't come because we stored a is equal to 12. So for this both we will be getting 12 as output, which is not expected, which is a wrong output. So we cannot able to do something like that. So what we can do, so by using the third variable we can able to achieve that. So let's take a third variable as example. Now how we can transfer? Let's move this value to the temp. Temp is equal to a. Now let's use a is equal to b. Since I store the value inside the temp, I can able to easily swap the number from b is equal to a. So now for this a, we have successfully swapped the number a is equal to b, which is nothing but 12. This 12 will be stored inside the a. Now let's store the value for b from this temp. So I can able to easily swap the number from the temp to b. So now this 10 will be stored inside the b. Now let's print the same value after swap, and let's see whether we are getting the expected output. Before swap 10 12, after swap 12 10, we are getting the expected output. So this is all about swapping two numbers. Write C# program to swap two numbers without using temp. So as we seen in first example, to swap two numbers we use temp variable, but without using that we have to sort. That is all about this question actually. The logic for this is we have to interchange the order same as we seen before, but without using temp variable we have to achieve that. In previous example, we have seen how to swap two numbers by using temp variable. But this question is about how to swap two numbers without using the temporary variable. So let's see how we can achieve that. Let's take a same input 10 and 12, and let's see how we can able to swap two numbers without using temp. So the logic for this is a is equal to a star b, b is equal to a divided by b, and a is equal to a divided by b. So what will happen? First time when we use this a star b, it will multiply this 10 star 12 is equal to 120. So this will be the output. And now for this a divided by b, which is nothing but for this value a will be stored as 120. So 120 divided by 12 equal to 10. So for this b, the a value 10 is swapped. Again for this a, 120. Now the A value will be 10. 10 divided by 120 is equal to 12. So that's how the value is swapped. So the logic for swapping two numbers without using the third variable is, actually this is the logic. A is equal to A star B, B is equal to A divided by B, and A is equal to A divided by B. So this is the logic for swapping two numbers without using the third variable. Now let's run and see whether we are getting the same expected output. Before swapping 10 12, after swapping 12 10. Yeah, we are getting the expected output.
Write a Fibonacci program using C#. Fibonacci number is a series of numbers in which each number is sum of two preceding numbers. For example, you can see 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8. This is the expected output. So if you see 0 plus 1 is equal to 1, 1 plus 1 is equal to 2, 2 plus 1 is equal to 3. This is the expected output, which is nothing but Fibonacci number.
Let's see in real-time example how to print the Fibonacci series. So let's take the first two input. Int A is equal to 0. Int B is equal to 1. Now let's print first these two input. Now let's see how to add preceding of two numbers. First we'll be having output as 0 1 1, and after that 0 plus 1 is equal to 1, 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. Like that we have to increment the value. How we can do that? Let's take another variable int C is equal to 0. Let's make it as 0, and then we will keep adding this number and we will print that number. Let's see how we can do that. For int I is equal to, let's start from 2, because already we are having the first two output. So let's start with 2, and then I less than the number of items we want to print. Let's take 15, and then I plus plus, which is used to increment the value. Now let's add the first two number. C is equal to A plus B, and now let's print this number C. Now what will happen? Every time it's going to add the first two numbers, and we're going to print here. Now what will happen? Every time if we print A plus B, only this 0 plus 1 will keep on in rotation. So we have to swap the number. So how we can swap the number? Let's swap the number by using A is equal to B, B is equal to C. Now the number is swapped. Now let's run and see whether we are getting the series of Fibonacci number. Yes, we are getting the expected output. 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, 24. This is the expected Fibonacci series numbers. So how we can able to achieve that? First we are taking the two input 0 1 1 and we are printing that, and after that we are using for each loop and starting from 2 and ending with 15. We are using this third variable to add the sequence of numbers. Every time we have to increment the last number with the current number. So for that we are using this logic, and after that we are swapping the number. A is equal to B, B is equal to C. Since we are printing the first two numbers directly, the output will be 0 1 will be printed, and we are using the logic C is equal to A plus B, which will become 0 plus 1, which is 1. That also will be printed here. Now we are swapping the number. A is equal to B. First time it will take the value from here. Since the value for B is equal to 1, A will store the value 1. B is equal to C. We are adding the first two numbers. The value for the C is equal to 1. So that B will become 1. Now we are adding the two numbers A plus B. It is holding the value 1 plus 1. So it will become 2. And the 2 will be printed. Now A is equal to B. What is the value B is holding? B is holding 1. So that 1 will be stored inside this. And B is equal to C. C is holding the value 2. That 2 will become here. And now again the loop will come here. C is equal to A plus B. 1 plus 2 is equal to 3. That 3 will be printed. Now A is equal to B. What the value B is holding? B is holding the value 2. The 2 will come here. And B is equal to C. What the value C is holding? C is holding 3. So the 3 will come here. Now C is equal to A plus B. A is equal to 2. B is equal to 3. So the value for C will become 2 plus 3 is equal to 5. And that 5 will be printed. Now A is equal to B. What the value B is holding? B is holding the value 3. So this A will now hold the value 3. And B is equal to C, which is holding the value 5. The 5 will come here. And now C is equal to A plus B. 5 plus 3 is equal to 8. The 8 will be printed. So this is how the loop will keep on printing the sequence of numbers by adding the preceding two numbers. 8 plus 5, 13, 13 plus 8, 21. So now we want to print the first 15 Fibonacci number. Now let's run and see whether we are getting the expected output. Yes, we are getting the first 15 Fibonacci number as expected. So this is all about the Fibonacci series.
Write a C# program to check whether the number is palindrome or not. So what is palindrome? Palindrome is nothing but when you try to reverse the number, the output matches with the input. For example, you can take 1 to 1 as a input. If you try to reverse this number, it matches with same. So it is palindrome number. If you try to reverse the number 133, it won't match because if you reverse the number, it will be 331. 133 not equal to 331, so it is not a palindrome number.
Now let's see in real-time example to check whether the number is palindrome or not. For checking the number is palindrome or not, the logic is we have to reverse the input. And if the reversed input matches with the output, then it is palindrome. Which means when I try to enter the input 1 to 1, we have to reverse this number. If the reverse of number is same as the input, then we call it as palindrome. But when we are giving input as 1 to 2, the reverse of this number is 221, which is not matching. So this is not palindrome number. So this is the logic for checking whether the number is palindrome or not. Now let's see programmatically how we can achieve that. First let's enter the input int numbers equal to 1 to 1. Now let's use while loop number greater than 0. We have to introduce three variables. One is int reminder and another one is int reverse, and another input is int temp. So before printing this number, let's transfer the number from temp to num. So we are transferring the input from temporary from number. Let's store this into the temp, and now let's write the logic for reversing the number. First thing we have to do is reminder. We have to check the remainder of the number. By using this logic, we can able to check the remainder of the number. Now let's use reverse. The logic for reverse is reverse .10 plus reminder. This is the logic for reversing the number, but we are getting some error. What is use of unassigned local? So we have to declare the value for this. Let's make it as 0. Now we are not getting this error. And finally, we have to use this logic, divided by equal to 10. Now let's print this. So now we'll be getting the output in this reverse. Now let's compare this output with input. If both matches, then that is a palindrome number. So this is the logic for that. Now let's run and see whether we are getting the expected output. We are passing the integer 1 to 1. When we reverse, we are getting the same number, so this is palindrome. Now let's run and see by using different input. We are passing the integer number 1 to 111. When we reverse this, we will be getting 1121. Now let's run and see whether we are getting the output as 1221 is not a palindrome. Yeah, it's not a palindrome. We are getting the expected output. So this is all about the palindrome number. This is the logic for checking whether the number is palindrome or not.
Write a C# program to check whether the number is natural number or not. Natural number is nothing but a positive number which is used for counting like 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. The smallest number is 1. Simply we can say the number start with 1 and ends with infinity is called as natural numbers. All the numbers starting from 1 is a natural number.
Now let's see programmatically how to print the sum of natural numbers. Sum of natural number is nothing but which starts from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and so on. So this is all about the natural numbers. Print the first 10 natural numbers. How we can achieve that? By using for loop we can able to achieve that. For int I is equal to 1, let's start with 1 because natural number is nothing but a number which start from the positive integer which cannot be 0. It should start from 1. I less than equal to 10, I plus plus. And let's print the number console.writeLine of I. Now let's run and see whether we are getting the expected natural numbers as output. Yeah, we are getting the natural numbers from 1 to 10. So this is all about the natural numbers.
Write a C# program to reverse the number. So what is the expected output for this? For example, if you try to provide the input as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the output should be 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, the exact reverse of the number which we are giving. That is all about.
Now let's see programmatically how to reverse the given number. We have already seen this example in palindrome number. While checking whether the number is palindrome or not, we first reverse the number, then we compare that output with input and check whether the number is palindrome or not. Now let's use the same logic here by introducing the input I is equal to 1 to 1. And let's declare three variables as same like remainder equal to 0, reverse and end temp. Let's transfer the value of I to temp. Temp is equal to I. Let's use while loop. While of I greater than 0. To find the remainder, we use remainder is equal to I percentage 10. Reverse equal to reverse star 10 plus remainder. So sorry, we have to declare the value for reverse as 0, not remainder as 0. Now I divided by equal to 10. Now let's print a number before reverse from the temp value and after reverse from the reversed value. Now let's run and see whether we are getting the expected output. Since we are holding the value 1 to 1, we cannot confirm whether it is working properly. So let's change the value from 1 to 1 to 1 to 111. So now we should get the output as 1121. Let's check whether we are getting the same. Before reverse 1 to 11, after reverse 1121. Yeah, we are getting the expected output. So this is logic for reversing the number.
Reversing the number. Write a C# program to check whether the number is Armstrong number. Armstrong number is nothing but the sum of cube of its digit is equal to the number itself. So what's that mean? For example, if you are trying to pass the input as 371, then we have to calculate the digit as 3 star 3 star 3, 7 star 7 star 7 and 1 star 1 star 1. If all the number matches with the input, then it is called as Armstrong number. So here we are providing 371 as an input and we are checking cubic of 3, 7 and 1. If all this matches with the input, then we call it as Armstrong number. Since they are matching, we are calling it as Armstrong number.
Now let's see in real-time example how to check whether the number is Armstrong number or not. So the logic for checking whether the number is Armstrong number is when we try to enter the input 371, it should calculate the each value with cubic value. Along with that, it have to sum the total numbers. If the number matches with this input, then such number is called as Armstrong number. Now let's see how we can do that. Something like 3 star 3 star 3 plus 7 star 7 star 7 plus 1 star 1 star 1. If that number matches with this input, then such number is called as Armstrong number. Now let's see programmatically how we can achieve that. First let's enter our input num, which is 371. Now let's use temporary variable to swap the numbers, and let's use sum to sum the numbers, and let's use something called OR. Now let's transfer the number from temps equal to num. Let's use while loop number greater than 0. So for the logic to find the Armstrong number is, first we have to store the value inside OR is equal to number percentage 10. Then you have to use sum is equal to sum plus OR star OR star OR, and num is equal to number divided by 10. If temp equal to sum, if the input equal to the sum of numbers, then it is called as Armstrong number. Else it's not a Armstrong number. Let's run and see whether we are getting the output for this. 371 should be the Armstrong number. Yeah, we are getting the output as Armstrong number. Now let's pass the number 342 and check whether the number is Armstrong number or not. This number should not be the Armstrong number, because when we try to calculate this by using 3 star 3 star 3 plus 4 star 4 star 4 plus 2 star 2 star 2, we are getting 1992, which is not equal to 342. So this number is not a Armstrong number. Let's run and see whether we are getting the expected output. Yeah, it's not a Armstrong number. So this is all about Armstrong number.
Write a C# program to check whether the number is factorial number. So what is the logic for factorial number? The factorial number is nothing but the product of all positive descending integer of that number. What does mean? Let's see an example. For example, factorial of 5 is we have to decrement the number and then we have to sum that number. So we will get the factorial number.
So let's see programmatically how to find the factorial of given number. Factorial of number is nothing but the product of all positive descending integer, which means to find the factorial of number 5, we have to use something called 5 star 4 star 3 star 2 star 1. So the output will be 120. For finding the factorial of number 4, you have to use 4 star 3 star 2 star 1. The output will be 24. So this is the logic for finding the factorial number. Factorial of 5 is 120 and factorial of 4 is 24. Let's see programmatically how we can achieve that. Let's enter our input as 6. I want to find the factorial of 6, so I am using the input as 6. Let's declare sums equal to 1. Since we want to print the sequence of descending numbers, let's use for loop. For int I is equal to 1, I less than number I plus plus. Sum equal to sum star I. Now let's print this sum and check whether we are getting the expected output. So before that, let's see what output we are expecting. So the factorial of 6 should be 6 star 5 star 4 star 3 star 2 star 1. Let's see what output we will get. 6 star 5 star 4 star 3 star 2 star 1 equal to 720. So we should get the output as 720. Now let's run and see whether we are getting the expected output. 120. This is not the expected output. We are getting wrong output. Why? Because we are using I less than num. We have to use I less than equal to number. Now let's run and see whether we are getting the expected output. Yeah, we are getting the expected output. So this is the logic for finding the factorial number.
Write a C# program to print sum of digits. What means sum of digits? Sum of digit is nothing but sum of all its digits. For example, if you are passing 1 5 to as example, then 1 plus 5 plus 2, which is nothing but 8. That is nothing but sum of digits.
Let's see programmatically how to find the sum of digits. As we seen, sum of digit is nothing but sum of the number itself. For example, when we are passing the input as 36782, then sum of digit is nothing but 3 plus 6 plus 7 plus 8 plus 2. So if you calculate this, we'll get the output as 26. So this is the sum of digits, which is nothing but, if you see this, we are just splitting all the input and adding all this input. So we'll get the sum of digits. Now let's see programmatically how we can achieve that. Let's store the input inside the variable num equal to 36782. Now let's declare value for sums equal to 0 and int remainder equal to none. Let's use while loop of number greater than 0, remainder equal to number started, and sum equal to sum plus remainder. and num equal to num divided by 10. So by using this logic, we will get the sum of digits. We have to pass this sum here. Now let's run and see whether we are getting the expected output as 26. Yeah, we are getting the expected output as 26. So this is the logic to find the sum of digits.
Now let's see some of string programs in C Sharp. So majorly there will be lot of questions regarding the string programs. Write a program in C Sharp to print individual character of the string in reverse order, which is nothing but, let's see an example. For example, if you are passing hello world, then it should be the reverse of except string actually. That is the expected output.
Let's see programmatically how to reverse the given string. Let's store our input as string input equal to hello world. Let's store our output equal to input dot to character array dot reverse dot to array. So by using this reverse inbuilt function, we can able to reverse the string. Now let's print the output and see whether we are getting the expected output. Yeah, we are passing the input as hello world and we are getting the expected output as reverse of the exact input. So this is the logic for reversing the given string.
Write a program in C Sharp to count the total number of words in a string. For example, when we are trying to pass the input as hello world, so it should count the number of words available in that string.
So let's see programmatically to count the number of words in a given string. For example, we are passing the input as hello world. So how we can find the number of words present inside the string? By splitting the spaces, because the difference between these two words is space. Now let's try to split the word to find number of words present inside the string. How we can achieve that? By using output equal to input dot split of space output dot length. By doing this, we can able to find number of words present inside the string. Now let's run and see whether we are getting 2 as output. Yeah, we are getting the expected output. Now let's try to change this input welcome to world. Now we should get 3 as output. Let's run and see. Yeah, we are getting the expected output. So this is the logic to find number of words present inside the string.
Write a C Sharp program to reverse a string without using reverse method. So when we get this program, always we try to use the inbuilt function reverse. We should not use that, but we should get the desired output. That is all about the expected question. Input, if you pass hello, we should get the reverse of that output.
Let's see programmatically how to reverse a given string without using any inbuilt function. Such like in our previous example, we used the inbuilt function reverse to reverse the given string. But in this example, we should not use any inbuilt function. Let's see how we can achieve that. Let's store the input inside the string input equal to hello. Now let's try to reverse this input. To reverse this, we have to use for loop. For int I is equal to input dot length minus 1, I greater than equal to 0, I minus minus. Now let's do now let's create another variable string output. equal to empty value. Output equal to output plus input of I. Now let's print this output and see whether we are getting the expected output. The expected output should be OLLEH. So this is the expected output. Now let's run and say whether we are getting this output. Yeah, OLLEH. We are getting the expected output. So this is the logic to reverse the string without using any inbuilt function. We can able to achieve by using the for loop.